back in the Inspired by world. Let me see what comments I got on the last one. Let's go! No comments. Hello, welcome back to the Inspired by world. In the series, we get inspired by great Minecraft builders and we hopefully create some beautiful builds in the process. Last episode we did this eye inspired by 90, and this week since I got no comments on my last video I am going to do a build inspired by this Twitter user GLS and then a bunch of zeros. Yeah, he makes these incredible colorful builds. Before we start building, I want to do it a little bit different. I'm still figuring out the series, and I want to do some analysis first. So the first thing I want to talk about is the use of colors in these builds. You can see in this build right here. This build. Which color is it? I think it looks pretty white, especially when you zoom out. Now, when we zoom in, we suddenly see a bunch of different colors. We see sandstone, endstone, pink blocks like white terracotta and cherry slabs. We see some oak. We even see some blue and brown tones. And all of that within this, well, what looks to be a white wall. So the question is, why? Why do all this color variation? First point is showing where the shadows are. Secondly, is just because a variation in the colors is more interesting to look at than just a flat wall of one color. Let's pull our attention to a different build now. And in this build, it has the same principles as the other builds in terms of color, but this time I want to focus on the trees, the grass, and that sort of stuff. You can see here that there is this lovely tree over here, and you can see in the way that the tree is made, it is not made with leaves. It is made with a bunch of grasses, bushes, some yellow coral, some wheat, and then for the darker areas there are some like I think it's a berry bush. So yeah, and then a little bit of leaves as well. But yeah, there is a bunch of grass blocks as foliage instead of like the actual blocks, which in turn gives the builds a more bushy appearance. Let's turn our attention now towards the gatehouse. And in this one I really want to yeah, kind of look at the shaping blocks that this guy uses in his builds. First of all, you can see this tree, which is beautifully shaped with the use of levers and pumpkin stems, or melon stems. I don't know, I can't tell. These Windows designs, they are beautiful. They use the pistons, which I think is really cool for these windows. Yeah, also this gate. Let's look at the gate. There's little walls with gaps in between. Really cool stuff. There's a bed here in this window. Really cool. And then this wall here at the front. It is beautifully sloped with the use of a door and the different wall types. So, what have I learned from watching all these details? So, I have learned that details like in windows can be really important, and that walls and trapdoors are really yeah, kind of necessary for the shape even. and that more detail will create a more interesting image. Okay, now it's time to check out and see what reference I want to use. And I have I opened my Pinterest and I saw this image. And this image speaks to me because there are some strong shadows like already present inside of the image, and white is like really good for this type of style, I feel. So with that in mind, I chose this image. It's gonna be a large project, because see these tiny houses? Yeah. They're gonna be house sized, and it's gonna be difficult to create the rest of this whole structure with those things in mind. But I'll try my best and I'll see how it goes. Okay, we are here in the world, and I checked around to see if there's any like large oceans, and this one should do. So yeah, this one is pretty large ocean right here. So yeah, this is the place I want to work off of. But I don't really know where to start. It's gonna be a large area, and I think the first part I can do is the large wall that's on the right. However, the one problem with that is that I don't know how large it will be. And I'm gonna try to base this off of the little house on the right. So I'm just gonna start by building a little example house. Okay, like that. Have the house like that. Okay, I'm thinking that maybe this one could be like on the same slab for this area. And then we can have a chimney right here. So I'm thinking this is a good scale to have for the little house. Is the chimney right though? I mean, ooh, what if I go with the shelf for the chimney? And then a wall. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so I think the next step is to just kinda get the entire concept out and just shape the entire build. So what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna be using white wool, and then stairs and slabs, the pale oak shelves, the trapdoors, and possibly some white glass for the shaping. So just stair shelves, trapdoors, and just like walls and fences. And I'm gonna use these blocks to try to shape the whole thing, and then I'm gonna be using like white wool and these pale things. And then of course diorite walls before I forget those. But yeah, all these blocks for the shaping of the white part, and then I'll just use, I think I'll just use moss for now, for the dark part. And I'm just gonna shape everything that there is for this build. And then I'll see you back once that's done. I'm probably gonna time lapse that. Okay, so this is what we got right now. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is like, in terms of the shape, like 90% complete. And yeah, I might tweak some stuff down the line, but at least for now, I think this is pretty good. So I think now I wanna do some basic shading. The image has some warm colors, so I definitely wanna go with that. So like a warmer gray. So if I go to the color picker and I go to like orangey and then go like right here, acacia wood should be pretty good. Or like if I go darker, I could go with the pale oak wood. For shadows, so I kind of have to decide which one of these two I want to do. But yeah, I'll just add some basic shadows following the reference. There will be a shadow over here somewhere, and then some shadows down here, here, and just like everywhere where shadows should be, I'm gonna just add some simple shadows with some block colors, and then over here we can add some even darker shadows. So maybe maybe we add some gray concrete, or is there any block in between these? Yeah, netherite. Cobalt deep slate, those are good blocks in between. But yeah, I'll just kind of figure it out with this color palette right here for the dark shadows. And yeah, I'll see you back once I get that all done. Okay, so I think I got the major shadows in. So yeah, that wall over there on the right definitely needs to be colored in. But other than that, I think I got all the major dark spots ready. So let's just try over here on this area right here and try to see what I kind of want to do. So I definitely want to bring in some yellows, right? And some of this bone block. Put in some of this white concrete because it's like somewhat darker. And I kind of play around with it and all the different white blocks available. And yeah, kind of decide what I wanna do with this whole area. And maybe I'll add some pink here, and then I'll get some white terracotta to kind of blend this in. Right, so like in this way, like this, I get so much variation in colors. And yeah, I think that looks a lot better than it did before, right? And yeah, we can kind of like sculpt this like in whatever way we want it to. And then yeah, like the copper brings some color variation, and we can even bring in the science by adding some of this warped planks. Right, so you can kind of see like what I'm doing and how this kind of changes the way a lot of this area looks. and how it feels. So yeah, you can kind of see. And then we can even like go like a little bit crazy with some light blue. And yeah, we can kind of go crazy with this. So you have this light blue in there, and like from far away, you don't even notice it. You don't even notice that it's blue. Your eyes kind of trick you and say, yeah, this is just like the regular green. And then we can like bring in like the this little trick, which I have tried on a previous build, which I didn't finish, but let's see, where's sponge? Like this is wet sponge. Is a really nice like yellowy grass color for like the highlight bits, which like I think this looks quite nice. So if you just like kind of blend this in with some of these blocks, right, and you kind of try to blend this in nicely, and then you have like this one over here. Right, so yeah, that kind of creates like a yellowy spot in the grass. And I think that looks really good. And like obviously down the line we can like add no updates. We can add like plants and bushes, right? And we can add like grass, right? And that will kind of like blend stuff together. But yeah, I think that will be the last step. But like, and then we can even grab carrots, right? And when you have these carrots and you place them down, you get these beautiful little small plants, and then you can make them grow to different stages, right? And this is like a really nice block as well to kind of detail it. So there's like a bunch of different things, and like you can do this with beetroots too. And there's like a bunch of different blocks when you are playing with creative. So yeah, all of that combined will just make a really nice looking effect eventually. So I'm just gonna, work on this on my own accord and just try to like texture the entire area basically. Which is definitely gonna take a while, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Okay, we got this all like pretty much textured up. But I wanna add a boat right here. And I also wanna add a tree right here. So I got my image with me again. And I'm gonna try to kind of do it. But first, I think I need to widen this up a little bit. I want to do some slabs right here, and then we can possibly get the shelves involved. And now let's actually replace these on the edge with trapdoors, because I think trapdoors give it some extra shape, so it's a little bit like narrower, if that makes sense. This can go like that, and this can go like this. Yeah, let's just do like that. And then I want to bring this one up. I want a wall, and I'm just gonna use the mud wall, the fence, And then I need some sort of slab, probably. Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think. And then I maybe like that. Oh, and this still needs to be. And then we have a little boat right there, which I think is pretty decent. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not that cool actually. Um, Maybe it's just kinda too low into the water, like that. Okay, that also kind of looks awkward. Yeah, well, um, let's just keep that there for now. Okay, but let's try this tree. The tree is like here, maybe here, actually. Maybe here, maybe here. Right, like that. I think that's good. So it's pretty dark brown, so I'm gonna go with some mangrove at the base. Okay, we magic select this, and then we paint with some, I think some grass. I think that's okay. It is a tree. You can see it's a tree. Um, Alright, if I go just like this, that works. Okay, yeah. I think with that out of the way, this build is you know, as finished as I wanna make it, to be honest. Thank you for watching this video. I had a lot of fun making this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.